Okay, this is PMC. I'm going to try to explain the machine I used for the first remix I did of the Collab project using my instrumental track and DeVoe's acapella track. This machine is called the Roland SP606. It's basically a sampler. It can sample any kind of audio input. And it was designed back in, it came out in 2004. It was designed to be a scaled down version of the Akai MPC, which is the popular sampler used in hip hop production. It comes preloaded with a lot of good drum sounds. Like I said, Roland was famous for quality drum sounds. Maybe if I can flip this, I can show you the 808s that you hear a lot in hip hop production. That's that deep bass kick, and that's the snare that you hear, that you often hear on a roll in a lot of Dirty South production. What I did for the Collab project is I brought in the instrumental into the machine, and when you do with samplers, as you chop samples. This was the original track that I assigned to a pad. Then I essentially chopped that up in the machine and assigned it to the 16 pads on a bank, and it sounds a little bit like something like this when I chopped it up. So what that allows you to do is to chop up that instrumental, but essentially I chopped it up in here, and there's a little bit of technical stuff that you have to go through to adjust the wave file. You can't see it on this angle, but when the wave file comes up on the screen, you can tighten it up and edit it right on the screen, just like you do on a computer program in like SoundForge or any wave file editor, Cool Edit, or anything like that. You can edit wave files in this machine. So I could have sped the track up, slowed it down even further, time stretched the samples to fit the current tempo. But for this first one, I just kept it at the same tempo, which is 65 BPM. Triggered the drum track first, programmed the drum beat first, which sounds like this. Nothing fancy, just a simple kick, snare, hi-hat, open and close hi-hat. Nothing real fancy. Then after I got that basic drum rhythm, drum pattern in, I went in back in to the instrumental track where I had the chops at, and that's on, I believe, bank 24. Again. And I just essentially tried to trigger some samples with that drum track, which I could just show you right here. I could do that right now. And that sounds like this. I'm sorry I had to find it, and I forgot where I put it. It's actually fairly similar to the original track. It just kind of loops up in the first 2 to 4 bars. That was my basis for the track. Then what I did is I took DeVoe's acapella vocals and chopped them up onto another pattern bank. And give me a second here and I'll find that. Well, this bank, I didn't use these, but this was from one of the sessions. I cut up Victor and Mario's vocals, and they're just their comments during the session. I may use this on another remix, but you can just listen to some of these that I chopped up.
Oh, this is what I think it's going to go like. So, and you can do this. So, hey, look, I'm going to check out the stuff with PMC, but
in order to spur the creative process, because working is that PMC submitted an audio track, collab project.
So you could see how I could trigger those vocals. Here we go. I took that whole, just like I did with the original track, I took that whole wave file, chopped it up into 16 pads, and triggered those with the other sequence that I used when I did the video. So these are some of her chops.
I'll let you make it up to me. Some hold grudges. It's really not all that. That's the way for us to work this through. No need for running. I'm inclined. You can make it up to me. You can.
So what I did is basically triggered those pads live with that other sequence, and it went something a little bit like this.
Some hold grudges. You can make it up to me. You can make it up to me. That's the way for us to. That's the way for us to work this through. Though I feel taken. Though I feel taken. Though I'm inclined to let things be. They say I'm not grudging. Some get angry. Some get angry. I'm talking about just me and you.
So basically I triggered those live, playing along with that sequence, and that's how I created that first remix. The other thing this machine does that's really cool is it has a built-in synth that you can trigger with your hand over here on the D-beam setting. And I did that in the video, and it goes a little bit like this. Like this machine, when I first initially purchased it, one of the reasons why I purchased it, I couldn't afford the Akai MPC at the time, which was the base model of the Akai MPC was basically $1,100–1,200. This machine, when it was released in 2004, came out at about $500–600. So this was a little bit more in my price range. Is it as good as an Akai MPC? No, it's not. I do think the sounds that it came with are better or just as good as some of the sounds from the MPC. The other issue with this is it's now a discontinued model. Roland stopped selling this about 5 years ago, and it's a discontinued model. But Roland has introduced some other samplers to replace this machine. So it's kind of like a classic relic right now. And it's not my primary go-to beat making machine, but I still use it on occasion because it has good quality sound. The sound coming out of it is very good quality. Sometimes I run my other audio sources through this machine because of the quality that comes out of it and the effects that you can add to this. So basically that's a little bit about how I did that collab remix video, and this is PMC and I'm out.